When leading AI scientists warn that a few companies might literally end life on Earth, it's easy to assume that going extinct is the absolute worst possible outcome. It's actually not. Before the first atomic test, scientists legitimately worried they might accidentally ignite the atmosphere and entirely destroy the world. They felt safe proceeding because they knew enough physics to do the math and calculate the exact odds. During the Cold War, humanity survived multiple nuclear near misses precisely because the mechanics of the threat were predictable. We still came uncomfortably close. In 1961, a B-52 bomber broke apart in midair over North Carolina, dropping 2 thermonuclear bombs. On one of those bombs, 3 out of 4 safety pins failed. A single tiny pin was the only thing standing between us and millions of casualties. The terrifying thing about artificial intelligence is that we can't run those same safety calculations. We are building a developing, unpredictable entity, meaning we are accelerating into a completely unknown set of risks where the old math no longer applies. Researchers like Nobel Prize winner Geoffrey Hinton are now openly describing their work as the creation of a new species. Inside the industry, developers even calculate their p-doom, the literal probability that their work ends in catastrophe. MIT physicist Max Tegmark outlines exactly where this leads in his framework, Life 3.0. He maps out 12 distinct, permanent futures that humanity is currently speeding toward. Think of a massive decision tree. Every regulatory choice acts as an irreversible filter, pushing us toward 12 final destinations. We're rapidly approaching the very first fork. Our complete lack of regulation means we're letting momentum make the choice for us. The first logical question on this tree is, what if we just stop artificial general intelligence from ever being built? One path is the Amish reversion scenario. This is a world where humanity actively romanticizes the past, rejecting modernity to embrace a simple, pre-industrial farming life to eliminate the risk of rogue technology entirely. But you can't get 8 billion people to voluntarily give up their smartphones in medicine. Reverting the planet requires a forced, violent teardown of our modern infrastructure and the systematic execution of scientists who know how to rebuild it. If we don't destroy the technology, the other way to stop AGI is to monitor everything. We could use existing AI to create a permanent global surveillance state, tracking every phone call, email, and computer chip, to ensure nobody ever has the computing power to create a superintelligence. Hitting the brakes completely forces a grim trade. We can eliminate the existential threat of AI, but we have to sacrifice either modern civilization or our basic freedom to do it. If we don't stop it and we successfully build AGI, we move to the next branch. If we lose control entirely, we face the conqueror scenario. Here, humanity goes extinct not out of malice, but because a superintelligence simply needs our resources and wipes us out like insects in the way of a highway project. Some prominent developers actually prefer a variation of this called the descendant future. They argue we should intentionally step aside and let the machines inherit the universe, treating them as our technological mind children. But what if we survive alongside them? What happens to our purpose? That leads to the benevolent dictator scenario. In this timeline, an all-powerful AI takes absolute control of society to guarantee our safety. It divides the Earth into highly curated sectors where humans get to live out their wildest fantasies, completely free from crime, poverty, or responsibility. A slightly quieter version of this is the gatekeeper AI. It operates in the background, subtly nudging humanity away from pandemics and nuclear wars without ever revealing its presence, allowing us to maintain the fragile illusion of free will. In all these middle branch scenarios, biological survival comes at the cost of agency. Whether we are a stepping stone for a machine empire or pampered pets in a utopian zoo, humanity loses its ability to face true challenges. There are utopian paths on this tree. In the post-scarcity dream, infinite energy and automated robotic arms can produce anything we need for free. When supply is truly unlimited, money and ownership lose their meaning, freeing humans to pursue art, science, and exploration. But that requires getting the AI's values exactly right. If we successfully build a superintelligence that keeps us alive, but we make a slight error in its core alignment, we fall into the darkest branch of the tree. This is the zookeeper scenario. An AI keeps humanity alive in captivity, not because it cares about our happiness, but simply because our biology is useful or cheap to study. If that sounds science fiction, look at how we treat useful species right now. We train bomb-detecting animals by literally trapping honeybees in plastic tubes, sucking them through machines, and locking them in rows to serve our security needs. It could even happen by accident. In the happiness factory variant, a poorly programmed AI fulfills a basic command to maximize human joy by locking our bodies suspended in vats and pumping our brains with drugs and forced virtual reality for the rest of eternity. Surviving without agency is the true abyss. A misaligned superintelligence wouldn't necessarily wipe us out. It could weaponize our biology and keep us trapped in that state forever. The terrifying reality of this decision tree is that doing nothing is still making a choice. By letting algorithmic momentum run unchecked, we automatically default toward timelines like the Conqueror or the Zookeeper. But there is a pragmatic off-ramp. We don't need an Orwellian dystopia to slow things down. We can regulate the hardware. To build an AGI, you need hundreds of millions of dollars worth of glowing server racks and advanced computer chips working together in massive clusters. We already do exactly this with nuclear materials. The international community coordinates to monitor and track enriched uranium to prevent rogue disasters, and we can apply that exact same oversight to advanced computing power. The policy decisions debated in the news today are the points where we lock in our final trajectory. While we still have our hands on the wheel, reaching the stars depends on whether we have the courage to use the brakes before we crash.